Call to order the President and Board of Trustees. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rassich.
Here.
Trustee Benucci.
Here.
Trustee Fay.
Here.
Trustee Lamb.
Here.
Trustee Peck.
Here.
Mayor Collins.
Here. We could rise for the pledge. I have one proclamation for Arbor Day. In 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to Nebraska Board of Agriculture a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce erosion of our precious topsoil by wind, water, and cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are a renewable source of giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees, whenever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Mike Collins, President of the Board President of the Village of Plainfield, do hereby proclaim 24 April as Arbor Day in the Village of Plainfield and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees, woodlands, and I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this for future generations. Dated today, the 6th. And that I do not have any other comments.
Trustees' comments?
I would just encourage all registered voters in the Village of Plainfield to exercise your civic duty tomorrow if you haven't already. Find your polling place, which you should already know, and exercise your right as well as your responsibility and vote in the consolidated election tomorrow. Thank you.
Are there any other trustee comments?
I have one comment. A major concern of mine is the victimization of residents of the Village of Plainfield and the victimization if they're a resident and they're a senior citizen. I recently received something in the mail, and one of my neighbors also received it, and they said, "Is this authorized by the Village of Plainfield?" And I said, "No, it's not. It's not a scam, but it's a situation where they send out a letter saying to you, this letter is to inform you that as a homeowner, you are responsible for the full cost of repairing your exterior water line. We have found your property at number on Fairbanks Court is not covered with exterior water service coverage." Well, they want to sell you a monthly policy, a quarterly policy, and a yearly policy in order to protect yourself from your water line breakage. You know, I know it's perfectly legal to be able to send this type of information out. What I'm saying is that there's so many, we have discussed it in the past, and I have spoken of this before. There are so many scams that are currently in our society, in our community. For example, people calling up wanting your credit card information, your social security numbers. I received information from someone on a scam. They said that I was arrears in my tollway pass and I had to send $34 in. The information looks very accurate, but be careful. If you have a concern, I'm not only addressing the people here this evening, but anyone who perhaps would be watching tonight. Be careful of people who call you on the phone and say, "I have this distressful thing." If it deals with the Village of Plainfield, call the Village of Plainfield and ask your specific question. People here will be able to give you information. We're not selling insurance. We're not selling anything. We're only selling, hopefully, good advice. And like I say, if you have a question about something that deals not only with the Village of Plainfield, or you think a very particular scam, either call the village number or the police number. They will be able to handle a situation for you. If you get a phone call and you don't like the phone call, Quit being nice. Hang the phone up. Don't say, oh, I'm sorry for hanging up. Just put the phone down. If they call again, hang up again. Don't fall for scams. And like I say, you have to protect yourself. We try and do the best job possible in distributing information. Oftentimes, you will get a phone call, and I have the police chief has addressed this from a police solicitation unit or a fire solicitation unit. We pay taxes. You do not have to contribute to those groups. It's through a special solicitation by an organization. You pay your taxes. You're paying for a police department. You're paying for a fire department. You don't have to give extra money. I don't even know who it would go to. I'm not going to ask Chief Konopek. Sometime you could discuss that with us. I know you have mentioned it before. But if you feel you're part of a scam, report it. Be careful. And one scam that I want to mention in particular, it happens, I see we have a good number of young people. You travel out of the country on vacation, et cetera, et cetera. A very popular scam right now is if they know you're gone, they contact your family and say that you have been arrested in Mexico, Puerto Rico, Italy, France, anywhere, and they can't get you out of jail until you send money. And I've known people who have been solicited. Be careful. Okay. And with that, have a good night.
Are there any other trustee comments? Not this would be the time for public comments. Come to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
My name is Panarea Bakudis, and I'm here representing Robert Morris University from the Orland Park campus. I'm very happy to announce that we are continuing to offer the amazing community residency education grants to the residents of Plainfield through this other year now of 2015. We are in the third year of providing these scholarships to your residents. And those residents who took advantage and started with us at Robert Morris University about 2 years ago, they're finishing up their bachelor degree in business at a huge tuition cost savings. I just would like to remind you of what we offer. May I approach and give you a flyer?
You can give it to the staff right there.
Right here? Okay. President Collins, Village Clerk Geibus, members of the board, and Administrator Murphy. To remind you, adult learners 21 and older are eligible for up to $17,700 annually towards earning a bachelor's degree at Robert Morris University at the Orland Park campus. To give you an idea of what this means, the current tuition for an academic year right now is $25,200. Residents of Plainfield pay only $7,500 per academic year through degree completion. So it's not just for the first year, there is no catch. It's each and every year until you earn your bachelor degree. We are a leader of a not-for-profit education. We're strengthening our commitment to neighboring communities by offering prospective students a residential grant at our Orland Park campus. At Robert Morris University, we do understand that adult students want ownership over their learning process. They want to engage with faculty on their own terms and their own time. After all, adults are full-time employed, have families and other responsibilities at home. Our evening class schedule is designed for students who work full-time and seek to fit college into their lives. Students maintain full-time status while attending class only 2 nights a week. Again, they're only on campus 2 nights per week while attending on a full-time basis. With the adult model, we offer classes in the traditional classroom setting, allowing for consistent interaction between students and faculty. We have class starts coming up May 4th, 2015, July 20th, and of course our fall quarter begins September 28th, but May 4th is right around the corner and there's no reason why adults couldn't get started at that time. This scholarship is offered at a first come, first served basis. So I do encourage those interested in earning a bachelor degree to contact me at the Orland Park campus. That phone number is 708-226-5354. I ask for the Village of Plainfield, as the other villages that are also benefiting from this, to post it on your website. That does help if you have what are the communication avenues you use to communicate to your residents, whether that be a newsletter, I don't know if you have a local newspaper here, but it does help in us getting the word out. Because believe it or not, there's still residents of Plainfield, Joliet, and the other communities that don't even know about this grant. Yeah, that they come and they show up in my office, I tell them about the grant, and I feel like I'm Santa Claus, because they have no idea what I'm talking about. So please help me get the word out while we're still offering this scholarship. Do you have any questions for me? Okay. And who would I speak to then about putting it on your website, or? With you. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Oh, sorry. Hi, everybody. My name is Vicki Polito. I live in Walker's Grove. I just realized on my calendar I wanted to mention, I don't know if a representative from her office is here tonight, but just so people know, at the Fire District headquarters on Thursday night, Senator Bertino Tarrant is having a open legislative town hall. She rotates through her district for those, as many people in her position do, but this is a chance very locally for you, if you've got questions about what's going on statewide, for the senator. Show up on Thursday night at the Fire District headquarters on 135th from 6:30 to 7:30 is, I believe, when it's slotted. Thanks.
Are there any other public comments? Not, then we'll proceed with the business meeting. We're seeking a motion to approve the agenda. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda. Trustee Rassich? Yes. Trustee Benucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay?
Yes.
Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. We're seeking a motion to approve the consent agenda to include minutes of the board meeting held on March 16th, bills paid and bills payable reports for April 6th, resolution number 1710, urging the governor and General Assembly to protect full funding of local government distributive funding revenues, and reduction of an improvement bond for Fairfield Ridge from $242,319.47 to the new amount of $124,455.10.
So move.
Second.
Prior to voting, I would like to ask our village administrator in particular, item 2C, Resolution 1710, urging the governor and General Assembly to protect full funding of local government and distributed fund revenues. Mr. Murphy, I know you're an expert in this particular area, and you've studied this, and it's a concern of yours continually, and our administration in particular, our government. What are the possibilities, and what percent of this funding do you think the village of Plainfield will receive? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
We should receive 100%, but what are we going to receive?
The village currently receives about $3.8 million in distributive funds, which is actually down a little bit from where we were previously. That said, what the proposal that was presented in Springfield was to reduce our LGDF funds by 50%. So that would reduce our funds by $1.9 million. It's a rather substantive dollar amount for us. As you know, we bring in about $5 million a year in property tax revenues. So the idea of losing almost $2 million is a very large sum against our general fund budget. I know that the folks in Springfield have indicated that they've taken a look at the values within the LGDF as it relates to the fiscal health of local municipalities, and feel as though that we are healthy enough that they can take these funds to be able to handle their budget problems in Springfield. First off, it's rather disingenuous because, as you know, we've just worked our way out of a $4.3 million negative position on our corporate account by making some very difficult decisions. And those decisions involve making rather deep cuts within our operations, as well as taking a look at alternative revenue sources. So it's a bit of a challenge for us to see about losing those funds. I might add as well that in order for the state to be able to balance their current fiscal year problem, which was a $1.6 billion issue, they took $250 million from the motor fuel tax fund, of which $13 million would come to the local level. There were sweeps of the personal property replacement tax fund, which, as you recall, was actually swept previously by the state of Illinois to pay for the regional school superintendent salaries. So this is a continuation of some past practices, but it's humbly, you know, to ask for an organization like ours to bear such a burden and a load after we've already taken care of our own house, really is not the best way for them to be managing their crisis. So the resolution that's before you essentially asks for us to be held whole. As you know, we did budget for there to be a reduction because we know that they ultimately will probably still need to take some funds. But 50% is beyond the pale and certainly outside the scope of what our budget can handle.
Thank you. You know, this, I think this melts perfectly with what one of our citizens had a public comment this evening saying Senator Jennifer Martinez-Tarrant is having an open situation, open meeting on Thursday night. Go. If you're a citizen in this community and you're concerned about the finances, go. Talk to her. Say you are distressed. She's your representative for the village of Plainfield. We also, as a state senator, talk to her. Say, I want you to fight as hard as you possibly can in order to protect your constituency. Thursday night, 6:30 to 7:30 at the on 135th at the fire district office. Thank you.
Motion was made and seconded to approve items A through D under the consent agenda. Proceed with the roll call. Trustee Rassich?
Yes.
Trustee Benucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay?
Yes.
Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. Next item on the agenda is Downtown Farmers Market. We're seeking board consideration of a motion to remove this item from the table. Motion's been made and seconded. Trustee Rassich?
Yes.
Trustee Benucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay?
Yes.
Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. We're seeking board consideration of a motion to approve the annual farmers market as a temporary outdoor use at the southwest corner of Lockport Street and Route 59 from June 6th to September 26th.
So move.
A motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Are there any comments or questions on this item? Hearing none, I'll proceed with the roll. Trustee Rassich?
Yes.
Trustee Benucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay?
Yes.
Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. Next item on the agenda is Riverwalk Industrial Condos. We're seeking board consideration of a motion to approve the site plan review for the project known as Riverwalk Industrial Condos at 24044 West Riverwalk Court, subject to the stipulations noted in the staff report.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Are there any comments or questions on this item? Hearing none, I'll proceed with the roll. Trustee Rassich?
Yes.
Trustee Benucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay?
Yes.
Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. Next item on the agenda is Will Kankakee Regional Development Authority. We're seeking board consideration of a motion to adopt ordinance number 3210, authorizing the ceding of private activity bonding authority to the Will Kankakee Regional Development Authority.
I make the motion that we cede the authority to the Kankakee, Will Kankakee Regional Development Authority.
Second.
I have a question, though. I think the representative's here tonight. Or if not, I noticed on,
If you could approach one of the mics, sir.
My name is Andrew Hamilton, representative of the Will Kankakee Regional Development Authority.
curious, I certainly support awarding our funds to this organization because we sometimes benefit from it. I notice in the wording, though, if we don't use those funds or you don't use the funds in 3 years, it's rolled back to the state.
Yeah, so if we do not use the funds or you do not allocate them or find a use for them by May of this calendar year, then the allocation of this year actually goes back to the state and then they can reallocate it out. If you do cede it to us, we are allowed to roll it forward for up to 3 years. If it's not used within that 3-year period, it's actually just lost cap.
How much of that is over the last 10 years or so? How much has been lost back to the state?
Let me see.
I noticed, the reason I'm asking is that 2007, there was a project, 2010, and then
Yep.
2014. So there seems to be some gaps of at least 3 years in there that suggest that maybe this money's not being utilized as much as it could be in our area.
Again, it's not, it's an allocation of available, it's a cap, right? So it's an allocation of what you're allowed to use. And yeah, that drop off, from 2007 to 2010 to 2014, definitely, there was a cap that was rolled off that was not used. A lot of that was due to the economic recession. There wasn't as many deals that we saw or activity. The good thing is over the last 18 months, we've seen a lot of activity in the sistering authorities that we've seen out throughout the state. So we are very optimistic on what's going to happen in the next coming years and where this cap will be placed and used. We've seen throughout statewide, throughout other sister authorities that we are involved in, that a lot of that cap, a big majority of that cap has been rolled off and not used throughout the state, and that due to the kind of recession and whatnot.
Anything we can do to encourage the use of it?
Yeah, definitely. We have this marketing materials here. Work closely with the economic development and the administration of the village, and also the neighboring villages, to kind of let people know, if you're investing in capital and creating jobs, it's good to kind of talk to us and see if you can kind of get this economic development benefit, if you will. So the administration's been great, and we've built this good relationship, and that's where you've seen a lot of these deals in the past come. So just continuing that marketing effort, if you will, to inform businesses of this advantage that they can get.
Thank you.
In the last 18 months, we've had conversations on 3 different projects to possibly use these funds. Again, and I know the board knows this, but just so the rest of the public knows, this isn't actual cash that comes to us that we give back to the RDA, and then the RDA, if they don't use it, it goes back to the state. This is actually just capped so that we can actually go out onto the bond market and get tax-free financing for what would otherwise be taxably financed projects. So it's a great economic development tool. It was created by the federal government these many years ago, and the nice thing is that the way that the state of Illinois does it is that by us giving ceding our authority to the RDA, one, they can parlay it for multiple projects in various jurisdictions. So our monies can be actually used by another jurisdiction, or as was the case with one of our projects, we didn't have nearly the capacity that normally comes to us, so we were able to use capacity from other communities to be able to do that project. And then as well, there is that ability to go out for 3 years. So what our normal cap is right around $3 million.
It's actually increased, so it's 4.2, almost 4.2 this year. So.
But again, the projects that we've been talking about are much larger than that, and so by having the ability to work with the RDA, we actually make these projects that much more valuable. So it's been a great partner for us. We haven't used it in the last couple of years, again, because of the downturn in the economy, but still, nevertheless, we're very pleased with how it's worked.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions? If not, the motion was made and seconded to adopt ordinance number 3210, authorizing the ceding of private activity bonding authority to the Will Kankakee Regional Development Authority. Trustee Rassich? Yes. Trustee Benucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay?
Yes.
Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries. Administrators report?
Apparently, the mayor just told me that I've talked too much already tonight, so I've got nothing else to offer.
I second that.
I'm too far away from to tell me that, huh?
Management Services report?
No report.
Engineers report?
No report tonight.
Planning Department report?
You have a request in your packet from Bucky's or Buchanan Energy to be allowed to have mulch to sell mulch this year. As you recall, consistent with the request, they do come before the village board each year. At that time of year, they're requesting the sales of mulch from April 7th through October 15th, or until the mulch is completely sold. They have identified where they'll store the mulch, which will be along the northern perimeter of the property. So consistent with your policy, they are requesting permission to have outdoor sales of mulch this year.
I'll make that a motion.
Question for staff, is the mulch already displayed, or are they waiting for our?
No, not at this
Good.
facility. There are 2 facilities that have mulch, and we'll be working with the code enforcement to address that.
Oh.
They have not come before the village board.
Okay,
But this site has complied with our policy.
thank you.
That was my next question too, just as long as it's fair to everyone, because we got on Bucky's for not doing it ahead of time, and whether we do or don't, however it works out, but we want to make sure we're fair to every business, so we do the same thing, have the same rules for everybody, so, because there's a few of them that already have it out there.
The specific rule, though, in Buc-ee's was they had to go to the north side, it's not along the street, which is where our problem has always been.
That's exactly correct.
Somebody else wants to request that they put it, perpendicular to the street, so it's not highly visible for people passing through town, then that's fine. But Buc-ee's, so far as I know, is the only one who's been willing to do that.
Correct.
And once we made the point with them, they've conformed to what we want, so.
Yeah, what was before you is consistent with our policy as it relates to mulch sales. It has to be a fairly isolated location, which does not intervene in any way with regards to vehicular traffic around the site.
Michael, if I can just make sure, Myers annexation agreement still allows for them to do outside display.
Correct. As you recall, there's 3 sites that either the annexation agreement or specifically the village board has given staff the administrative approval. Those sites are Jewel, Walmart, and Myers. We administratively approve those outdoor storages, facilities, or sales of landscape goods every year administratively, pursuant to previous village board direction.
None of their storefronts are on this road itself.
That's
They're all
correct.
set back significantly.
Well, the gas station at Jewel is out there, but the other one is 135th too, so yeah, I know you'll follow up, that's fine.
The gas station at Jewel is actually no longer part of Jewel. It's a Circle K
Oh, so
shell.
that's another whole Gadilla, okay. A mulch Gadilla.
Are there any other comments or questions? Motion was made and seconded to allow temporary storage and sale of mulch at Bucky's from the date of April 7th through October 15th. Bucky's. Trustee Rassich,
Yes.
Trustee Benucci,
Yes,
Trustee Fay, Trustee Lamb,
Yes,
Trustee Peck.
Yes.
Thank you, that motion carries. Planning, or Building Department report?
Just have the operations report for February. Be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Public Works report.
Good evening. Public Works has 4 items tonight. The first one has to do with the bridge maintenance. I'll let Scott Threewitt discuss that with you.
Thank you, Mayor and Trustees. First item, Public Works related, we have for your consideration is the engineering for maintenance activities at various bridge structures throughout the village. Results of the latest bridge inspections for village-owned structures had indicated that there were some scour/erosion control issues, slope wall repairs, and railing repairs that are necessary. At this time, we're being proactive. The repairs are of a maintenance type situation right now. If they were to be let go for a few years, they might be a little bit major repair, but at this time, we're, like I said, trying to be proactive and get these repairs taken care of. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
a couple of comments. The little map is excellent. It shows what needs to be done and where, and that's a really nice feature I've seen for the first time. Also, you have 7 bridges that are going to get some attention, and total cost is $13,200, which says less than $2,000 each. So it tells me you're doing these repairs pretty economically. So thank you for your
Well,
inspections.
To
and
clarify
follow-up.
that this is for the engineering work. The
Ah.
actual
It'll be more
contractor
co-
work will be done later this summer, but this is for the engineering services at this point, which includes the permitting that is necessary to complete the work.
Do you have any idea of the cost of the repairs, or I assume it might be bid, but any ballpark estimate of that?
A ballpark estimate would probably be between $60,000 and $80,000 at this point.
Okay. take my comment back, but still good work.
I move we authorize for engineering services and bridge maintenance to Strand Engineering in the amount not to exceed $13,200.
Second.
That motion's been made and seconded. Trustee Rassich?
Yes.
Trustee Panucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay?
Yes.
Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries.
The next item for consideration is the engineering work, Phase 1 and Phase 2, for 127th Street and 248th, to do the traffic signal improvements and bike path improvements at that location, along with the bike path gap on 127th Street up near the new Ross store. Staff received some proposals from several engineering firms we've done business with in the past, and selected HLR as the most qualified for this work. And we'd be able to answer any questions if you have any.
I move we authorize the village president to approve Phase 1 and Phase 2 engineering service agreement to Hampton, Lenzini, and Renwick for the 127th Street and 248th Avenue bike path traffic signal work in the amount not to exceed $45,531.
Second.
That motion's been made and seconded. Trustee Rassich?
Yes.
Trustee Panucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay? Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries.
The next item we have is actually in regards to 127th Street as well. This has to do with the resurfacing of 127th Street, in which the village is partnering with Wheatland Township Road District to complete. As you recall previously, at the February 2nd meeting, the village had approved a memorandum of understanding with Wheatland Township regarding this project. At that time, the cost estimated for the village participation was $65,000. Since then, the bids have been opened, and the bids did come in less than the estimate. The village's portion is now estimated to be $51,813.25 plus engineering fees. With that, we are recommending that the village execute an intergovernmental agreement with Wheatland Township to have this work completed.
That is my
Any
motion.
questions?
That is my motion at a construction cost of $51,813.25 plus engineering fees.
So if I read this properly, we have 3/4 of the part that's being paved. 1560 versus 2127 total.
Roughly, yes.
So Wheatland itself is paying another 20,000, something like that. But important to get that road done. It's important, but it's nice to work in conjunction with our other governmental bodies around here. So.
Are there any other comments or questions? Not. The motion was made and seconded to approve the intergovernmental agreement related to the 127th Street resurfacing project with Wheatland Township Road District for the construction cost of $51,813.25 plus engineering fees. Trustee Rassich?
Yes.
Trustee Benucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay?
Yes.
Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Thank you. The last item has to do with the Parkway Tree Replacement Program, as we've been continuing to replace the trees as we remove them from the emerald ash borer problem. We are looking to acquire approximately 220 trees this spring. I think last fall we removed in the neighborhood of 700 plus trees. In order to do that in a timely manner, we're asking to waive the bidding and acquire these trees from the Suburban Tree Consortium, also as we've done in the past, for a cost not to exceed $75,000.
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
That motion was made and seconded. Trustee Rassich?
Yes.
Trustee Benucci?
Yes.
Trustee Fay?
Yes.
Trustee Lamb?
Yes.
Trustee Peck?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries.
One question before we move on, though. Has anything changed in the treatment that's been available for ash trees?
Pardon me?
I heard a comment, I don't know whether particularly valid or not, that there's a new spray treatment that killing the bugs. I knew there'd been injection type things in the past. Is there anything that you're aware of that's new?
Not firsthand, but this technology is improving, and with the chemical treatment of can't speak specifically to that particular application, but the science is trying to get ahead of this bug. So.
I can add just a little bit, only because it is something that I've followed quite a lot. Yeah, the injection process is about 68% effective. They have been able to do a multiple phased approach, where they also are doing some drip treatments that go directly into the root systems, which they showed in some studies over in Ohio. It actually was rather effective at Ohio State University. The Michigan State University study that ran parallel to it, they didn't have nearly as a successful experience. So some communities are taking a chance that the Ohio State experience will be replicated here. Right now, we're still looking at a very expensive process when you put those two together. And then humbly, where our tree canopy is at this point, it's a much more responsive move on our part to continue to remove the trees. We are in the quarantine area with a rather substantive damage throughout our community on those trees. If you don't get to the treatment by the time there's less than 30% damage to the tree, which to the naked eye you won't even notice it, the treatments, the value of those treatments drop off rather quickly. The reason that these studies continue on is that the hope is they can actually get to the leading edge of these, of where this is, to be able to stop it from continuing on, and then in those certain various pockets where they have had success, they still would like to be able to keep them. As well, if you do remember, there was something called the parasitic wasp, which has been successful in certain places. However, again, I'm not too terribly keen on us bringing in a outside, admittedly very small wasp, but still nevertheless a wasp into the community. As you recall, we did that with aphids, or with Japanese beetles to eat aphids, and now we have a Japanese beetle issue. So I think it's best to not go there yet.
Bottom line is that we will lose all our trees sooner or later.
Yeah, at this point, when you we've removed over 50% of the ash trees in our community, and we still expect to be in the removal business. The expectation still is that within the next 2 years, we'll actually have removed, or 3 years, we'll have removed all of the ash trees from Plainfield.
Yeah, the comment came specifically related to people who got in the business of taking out trees. A number of people bought the equipment to do that, and all of a sudden they're seeing that the demand is not there for them. They spend a lot of money and they're not doing it. As far as I know, locally we have 2 or 3 outfits that are doing the trees, and they're busy. I don't know of anybody else who's really jumped in, so whether this comment pertains to anything around here or not, but our trees will go because we couldn't stop them in time. There's no inexpensive or reasonably expensive way to do it. It's just prohibitively expensive. Yeah.
Police chief's report.
I have no report, thank you.
Report.
No report this evening, thank you.
Reminders.
April the 8th will be coffee with the mayor. April the 9th will be the HPC meeting. The 13th will be our next committee of the whole, and our next village board meeting will be April 20th.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. That motion
Any
carries.
students that need their paper signed, just see one of the trustees up there.